I'm Dr. Katie Altieri, and I'd like to welcome you all to C 2004, the Principles of Oceanography. I'll be the course convener this year, and I'll also be doing some lecturing in the beginning of the course. You'll also have two other instructors throughout the year, Professor Isabel Ansorga and Dr. Moya Abo Khraguasha. So to start with introducing myself, you can call me Dr. Katie or Dr. Altieri. I'm a senior lecturer in the oceanography department. My background is in chemistry and oceanography. You can see I've printed a little bio here, so you can see some of the stuff I've done in the past. I'm also co-director of the UCT Marine Biogeochemistry Laboratory. Most of my research is related to the marine atmosphere, so I'm an atmospheric chemist. I do work on marine and atmospheric biogeochemistry, how pollution is influencing the surface ocean, how the surface ocean influences the atmosphere, all sorts of things in that area. And as the convener, even when I'm not doing the actual lecturing or running modules, I'll always sort of be around in the background, making sure everything's running as smoothly as possible. We also have Professor Isabel Ansorga. She's the head of the oceanography department. She's been at UCT for quite a while. Her experience from a research perspective is on observational oceanography, where she's does physical oceanography, but from a measurement perspective. She's done a lot of work in the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Southern Ocean, quite a bit of work on Marion Island, which is one of South Africa's subantarctic islands. And she runs the Seamester program, which is a really amazing floating university program for postgraduate students. So if any of you make it through to honors, it's something you might want to think about, where she takes a group of students from around the country for 2 weeks on the SA Agulhas 2, which is South Africa's big ice-breaking research ship. And so she'll be doing some lecturing on her areas of expertise. I think she's doing maybe 3 or 4 modules this semester. We also have a fairly new lecturer in our department, Dr. Moya Abo Khraguasha. She is an outstanding physical oceanographer, similar to Isabel, except Moya Abo does modeling. So she looks at things from a numerical modeling perspective and has done a lot of work on the Benguela upwelling system. Her PhD was joint between UCT and the University of Western Brittany, so she also has a lot of international activities that she's involved in. And she'll be lecturing on ocean circulation this semester. We also have 2 tutors for the class this year, 2 PhD candidates, Jessica Berger and Chantel Smith. They both conduct research in the Marine Biogeochemistry Lab as well. Jess is doing some work on stable isotopes, and Chantel is doing some work on ammonia and ammonium cycling. They both were outstanding students in undergrad and are really looking forward to helping you guys this semester. They'll be holding some synchronous tutoring sessions, and I really encourage you to make use of their expertise and experience. So I want to briefly talk about the syllabus, because there really is a lot of information in there, and it's worth taking a look at it. So it gives the sort of outline, it gives the DP requirements, it gives the types of quizzes and practicals. So let's start with DP. So the university has decided there will be finals this year, unlike last year. And so in order to be eligible to take the final, you have to get DP in the class. To get DP, you have to submit all the practical assignments. You have to take all 3 class tests. You have to post in the forum at least 6 times, and we'll be using the forums a lot, so that won't be difficult. And you need a class mark of at least 40% by the end of the term. And so hopefully all of you will be DP, and we'll have the chance to take the final and ace the final. I do want to note that the final we've made as sort of from a percentage perspective for your grade, as small as we're allowed to make. So the final counts 20% towards your final mark. And so it really is worthwhile to do the best you can throughout the course and all of the various tests and assignments and everything, because that is the bulk of your grade at the end of the semester. So in terms of class tests, there will be 3 of them throughout the course. Better to have 3 shorter tests, in my experience with this class in the past. It allows you to get a sense of where you're at, what the tests are like, practice a little bit on the first one, and then you've still got 2 more to go. They're all going to be take-home tests, so they'll be done virtually, online, wherever you're most comfortable working. They're open book, so you'll be able to access all of your notes, anything related to the VULA site, the textbook chapters, the PowerPoints, all of that stuff. They are not open internet. So the idea is not that you take the test question and just Google it and see what comes up. The idea is that they're open book in the sense of you can have all of your course material. The class tests won't be done in partners or in groups. I make this distinction because sometimes some of the practicals you can work in groups or partners, but the test is just for you to take by yourself. You have 24 hours to complete the test, not because it's supposed to take you 24 hours, but because over the course of a day, there's obviously all different times when someone might be comfortable and ready and have the space and the privacy they need to take a test. So the test will be released at 11 a.m. on test day. And then you should download it, take a look at it, and then set aside however much time you think you need to complete the test, and then you just need to get that done and submitted by 1 p.m. the following day. And you can see here the dates of the 3 tests. So there's 9 modules, and the tests are evenly spaced. So the first 3 modules are test 1, modules 4, 5, and 6 are test 2, and modules 7, 8, and 9 are test 3. And that's a big chunk of your class mark. That's 40% of your grade. And again, I think it's much better to have 40% of your mark cover these tests and only 20% cover the final exam, to sort of take some weight off that somewhat stressful, invigilated 3-hour final exam that you take on campus. So for those of you who are wondering how you pass this class, and remember now things are no longer pass-fail, you will be getting a grade. You'll get a mark at the end of the course. The first thing is we've put a lot of time and attention and energy into the VULA lessons. So spend a lot of time going through them. Read the readings. I know for my modules 1, 2, and 3, I've made the lectures a little bit shorter. And so my assumption is, in terms of you guys being successful in this class, is that you will read the readings and listen to the lectures. I think in previous years, there's been a lot more emphasis on the lectures and less on the readings. But now I think it's really important, since we're not meeting face-to-face, that you guys have the opportunity to learn in a variety of ways. So to learn by listening and watching the lectures, but also to learn by reading. Most of the modules will have quizzes associated with them. These are going to be short, 10-question, multiple choice quizzes, but you definitely want to take them. First off, there's a mark for them. But also it'll help you sort of figure out what we think as the lecturers is the important things from the lecture notes and the lecture videos and readings. So the quizzes will guide you on, these are the important bits. This is what they expect me to know after having gone through those VULA lessons. And they also will give me a sense, because I can see, the marks as you guys finish the quizzes. If all of you are getting the same questions wrong, then obviously I didn't do a very good job teaching something. And it allows me then to go back and clarify something that, hasn't been communicated well. The fourth thing is to attend the tutorials. So each week, both Jess and Chantel will host tutorials. And these will be online Zoom meetings. You can ask absolutely anything, clarifications about the lecture, clarifications about the practical questions, if you're stuck on a practical question. And even if you don't have a question or you haven't started the practical yet, I would recommend attending the tutorial. Just turn it on in the background of whatever you're doing and listen in and see, because somebody else's question might be something, that you also struggle with once you get started on the assignment, or maybe you realize based on the tutor's answer that actually, maybe I wonder if I actually did that right. I better go back and check it again. The fifth thing is to check the forums. Again, for the same reason. So the way communication will work is for each module, there will be a forum. And you can post questions or anything, anything you have there. And the reason for that is if you have a question, there's probably at least 3 or 4 other students in the class who have the same question. And so it's useful for your classmates to see your question and our answers, because the answers also allow myself and the other lecturers and tutors to clarify material for you guys. So check out the forums for the modules. Even if you don't have a question yourself, just, try to stay on top of them. And the last, number 6, is do the practical assignments. So on one hand, the practicals are, part of your grade. They're 30% of your mark. You have to do all of them to DP the class. But they really are supposed to, they're not supposed to be just mindless work. They are supposed to help you understand the material. and also to give you a chance to practice the type of problems that you'll see on tests and the final exam. And so that is, really important. It's basically a way to study for the test and the final exam. And so I think if you do all of these things, you should pass the class with flying colors. But of course, we are here and available to assist you in any capacity that you need. I know online learning can be challenging, and it brings with it, sort of unusual challenges. And so we want to try to support you throughout this process. So please let us know how we can best do that. So next I'll post another introductory video just giving you guys a bit of a tutorial through Vula. I'm assuming as second years you guys have used this since last year was very heavily on Vula. But nevertheless, I want to show you sort of how we